Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello! My name is Caroline and I make sewing tutorials and sewing patterns to help you along your sewing journey. And today's video is very special because I'll be sharing with you guys every piece that I sewed in the year of 2023. I personally love watching these types of videos to get to see what everyone made. 2023 was definitely the year that I sewed the most in my life, and there are actually some pretty cute stuff. Some of my favorite things I've ever made also happened this year, and the cool thing about it is that for most of those pieces, I actually filmed the process of me making them. So if you happen to see something that you like and that you would want to recreate it at home, you totally can. Some of those have PDF patterns available on my website, and some of those PDF patterns are actually free patterns that I made and shared with everyone. So if that's the case on any of them, don't worry because I will mention. And I'll also make sure to link every pattern and tutorial in the description so it's easier for you guys to find. Now let's go to my wardrobe so I can show you everything. I try to organize everything in somewhat of a chronological order on when I made something. So the beginning of the year is more towards this side and the end of the year is more towards this one. But it's not 100% accurate because I don't remember everything. But let's start with the Ana Lucia dress. This blue one doesn't actually count because it was the last make that I made in 2022. I actually finished it on December 31st, 2022, so it's not gonna count to the overall number of pieces that I made, but I thought about sharing because it was the first pattern that I ever released. It was the first video that I posted here on YouTube, and so far it's also the video that I have the most views on, so I really love this pattern. It was named after my mom. And I also made it in this white eyelet fabric for myself. I love this fabric, but it's starting to get stains because it just stayed in my closet basically for the entire year. The only time I wore this dress was 2 days ago at the New Year's Eve. Since I used the blue one from 22 to 23, I thought about using the white one from 23 to 24. And I also made a second version of the dress. The pattern has two views, view A and view B. And I don't have in here all the dresses that I made. One of them is this polka dot version here. It has a shirring detail on the waist and elastic all around the neckline. And it also has a slit in one of the legs. And this polka dot one is definitely the dress that I made this year that I used the most. I just find it so easy to wear, like just pick it up and put it on, and it's so pretty. And I also made the green version, but I didn't like the fabric choice because it's made out of polyester and it's really hot. So I ended up not wearing this one because of how hot it is, but I also like it. And I also made it for my mom and for my cousin, and I don't have those dresses with me right now. But for my cousin, she wanted it to be made with yellow fabric with flowers. So I used this fabric right here to make it for her. It wasn't the easiest thing to find, but I really like this pattern. So I bought a lot so I could make something for myself later on as well, and she really liked it. So, and for my mom, I made it in black. The second video that I posted on my channel was a tutorial on how to make a lace bralette, and I have made so many of those lace bralettes for so many different people. I think it's so pretty and so easy to make. I used to just make them in several sizes for my friends. So I decided to also make this a pattern for everyone. So it's actually a free pattern that you can find in my website. I'm gonna link it in the description. This year I made for myself two of those. This black lace with flowers in it that is so pretty, and this light blue lace here. Now continuing with the lace underwear thing, one of the first lace panties that I made was this one. It ended up being too small on me. I was actually supposed to give this to a friend of mine, but I forgot. I haven't given it to her yet. And then I got it right and I made it bigger, and this one fits me properly. I have cut the bra to match with this one, but I haven't sewn it yet. This video is being good to remind me of the stuff that I have to finish. I also made a underwire bra for me. It doesn't have padding or anything, just the underwire. And I also made a matching panty, but it's very small, so I'm not gonna show. And I made the exact same set in black lace and this flower lace here. And I didn't use underwire on this. I only used the casing, and it works really well as well. It's more comfortable, but I don't need a lot of support. So I don't know if it would be a good idea to not have underwire for people with bigger cups. But yeah, this is the inside, this is the outside, and the panties are the same as the blue one. And I also made the same one in this black lace right here. I love this lace so much. It's so pretty. It's one of my favorites, and it's very thick and intricate. And I also made this set right here in pink. The panty And the bra, really pretty. I used black details, but for the underwire and the elastic, I used beige so it wouldn't show. But I ran out of black closures, so I didn't finish it. The third video that I posted on my channel was this thrift flip video. This used to be a pair of pants that was way too wide on me, but also way too short. So I cut the legs off and I used the legs to make this top. And I tightened up the waistband so it would fit around my waist. It's also one of the things that I use the most. I absolutely love it, and I do want to make another one of this. But yeah, I got a lot of use out of this. Now I'm not sure which ones came next, but I'm gonna start with these shorts. I literally wear those every day. It's my easy summer shorts pattern. I made it in yellow. In blue, I am so sorry they are so wrinkly. The blue one has pockets. You can choose whether you want to make it with pockets or without. In black, the black one also has pockets and it's also very wrinkly, I'm sorry. I made this one with cotton that kind of gives off that boxer short vibes. And those are not the only ones that I made. I also made some for my mom with the black and the blue fabric. She also wears them every day. If you want to start sewing, those are actually a really good project for beginners because they're so easy to make. And I definitely plan on making more of those because I do wear them every day. Next, I'll show you the leggings. There's a full tutorial on how to make leggings, the pattern and the sewing part on my channel. It's actually very easy to make as well, but the difference is that you have to be really mindful of the fabric. So if you're a complete beginner, maybe I would start with the shorts and then you can also make the leggings later if you want. I have made in black and in blue as well, but they have been used, so they are in the washing pile. I didn't pick them from there. And I also made them in shorts. It's the same pattern, you just have to trim them. And this is the blue one that I have made the leggings as well. And to match the leggings, I also made a lot of workout tops. This is the Alice sports bra pattern that I also have on my website. One shoulder version and the two shoulder version. I have made it in blue and in black as well, but they're dirty. And I also made this version right here without the band in the bottom, but the sewing part is a little bit different from the tutorial that I made. If you guys want, I can show you how to make this completely lined and fully reversible version. With the same pattern for the top, I actually made a bikini, but I don't know where I put the top for the bikini because those days were very hot in here. So I did use it. I don't know where it is. I made it for a matching set with this one, but I also made this low-waisted version right here. And I tried to make an underwire version with this fabric, but the pattern didn't turn out really good for me. But I still have the same fabric, so I do plan on trying to make it again, but better. And for bikinis, I also made this one right here. It's just a bandeau top, very simple. I also wear it a lot inside when it's hot, but the panties turned out to be way too small. I do not feel comfortable enough wearing this outside, so I haven't worn it. But I really like the ties on the sides. I think they help to shape your hips a little bit more. I like the style. And the cool thing about those is that I actually bought this fabric from this website called Banco de Tecido. They have this collection of leftover fabrics from the industries. So instead of going to landfills, they actually resell the rest of the fabrics. And I got this one from their partnership with Farm. I think outside of Brazil, you know it as Farm Rio. It's a brand here from Rio, and the quality of this fabric is so good. But I kind of ruined it by making something that didn't fit. Another good tutorial for beginners was this video that I posted on three or four hair accessories that you can make very quickly. I'm gonna count all the scrunchies that I made as one and all the headscarves that I made as one as well. I didn't make only this one, but I have gifted to my friend because she wears headscarves more than I do, so I thought she would have better use for it. And I also have showed you how to make a bow to put in your hair and how to make this special scrunchie with a tiny bow as well. And I have a free pattern for all of them, so I'm gonna link it in the description if you guys want. I also made this one. It's my overnight hair curlers. I definitely need to make another one because this one has gone through a lot. Now next we have the Aimee bias cut dress, which is my most popular pattern by far on my website. You guys seem to love it, and I do love it as well. I have made so many for me, and I do plan on making even more. I made it in the long version with this black viscose. I made it in this floral yellow fabric, I also love. But this one was made before I actually had finished the pattern, so the fit is a little bit different, but I also like it. the black flower one was not made this year, so it's not gonna count to the total amount of dresses that I made. And I also made this one, which I think it's my favorite out of the ones that I made for myself, but it did shrink after washing it, so it's a little bit short. And I also made this one right here with this blue satin that looks gorgeous. Haven't worn it, but I mostly made it not with the intention of wearing it because I don't have a lot of occasions to wear dresses like this, but I mostly made it because I was asked by one of the customers on how to make the dress fully lined, and the tutorial that I had made was finished with bias binding, which I find easier for beginners, but she wanted me to show how to make fully lined. So I made the video. It's way better quality than the first one that I made, so I think I'm going to remake the other tutorial as well with the bias binding because I think this dress deserves it. There's this quick top that you can make under 1 hour with elastic thread. Very quick to make, and I have made this multiple times before in other fabrics, but this was the only one that I made this year. Now we're going towards Barbie land. So when Barbie came out, I was very excited, just like every other girl out there. So I made the Perfect Day Dress. There's a tutorial here on my channel on how to make the pattern and how to sew it from scratch. I also have a free guide for the pleated skirt of the pattern if you guys want to make it yourself. But since you guys asked, I also developed a pattern. So there's this style right here. And for my friend Bia's birthday, which was Barbie themed, and the intention was for her to wear the Perfect Day dress, the pleated one. So I made this pink one for myself. I do not have a tutorial on how to make this on my channel, but it has princess seams, a short A-line skirt with a small slit here, and tie straps. I think everything's fine with the microphone, even though I gave it a little bath. And the third Barbie themed garment that I made was the striped swimsuit. I actually made 2 of those because the first one I made a mistake and I had to remake it. Got rid of that one, I don't have it anymore with me. And the second one that I made was the one that I actually showed you on the video. But I also don't have it with me anymore because I actually gifted it to a friend of mine because she really loved it and she wanted to commission me to make one for her. However, after making it twice, I did not want to make it a third time. And since we have very similar body measurements, I just decided to gift it to her for her birthday. But hopefully it's being really cherished with her. Now, I have the Beatriz Dress, which is another pattern on my store. It has an elasticated neckline and puff sleeves, which I find so lovely. It's a rather easy sewing tutorial. If you're a beginner, I do believe that you can make this one, so I'm going to link it in the description as well if you're interested in knowing how to make it. My favorite one is the white version. And I didn't mention, but I also have the dress that I am currently wearing right now. It was a thrift flip, the second thrift flip that I made on my channel. It used to be a very, very loose dress. It's made out of linen, and I just transformed it into this Reformation style dress that I really like. I did show you how to make the pattern in the video as well, so you can go check it. Then I have this dress slash top. It's made with jersey. I actually did make this pattern and I did film a full sewing tutorial. I never really posted it, but it's a very easy project. To be honest, I haven't really used the dress yet, but the top version of it, I have worn it multiple times. I have made it in this cute viscose. I absolutely love this. I have made it a fully lined and sleeveless version as well. And the same one as the dress, but only as a top. And let me know if you guys would want it, because honestly I didn't go forward with it because I didn't think it would be super popular, but let me know what you think and I can post it. And now we're getting towards the end of the year, which is where my favorite makes are. My cousin was graduating university and he invited me to his graduation party, so I made this dress right here. It's very wrinkly now and definitely not looking good. Hopefully the videos and photo will do better justice, but it's corset style with a tie in the back. However, the neckline ended up being a little bit crooked because I did make this in a hurry. According to my mom and according to you guys in the comments, it wasn't super perceptive. You couldn't really notice that. Noticeable. It wasn't super noticeable. But yeah, I wore this to the party. However, my original intention was to wear this dress right here to the party, but I wasn't able to make this on time. This one, which is definitely one of my favorite makes I have ever made. It's fully lined and it's made with chiffon. I tried gathering it, but I ended up pleating it, and it has a back tie to make it tighter around the waist. As you can see, I didn't properly finish it because the zipper is still peeking out. I will do that. And yes, it has a side slit. And unfortunately, I had to get a different fabric for the lining of the skirt because I ran out of the original one, and it does have a different shade. So that's one thing that I'm kind of upset about. The original fabric that I had bought was a perfect match to the chiffon, but it was a very difficult fabric to work with, and I wasn't able to make it work for the lining, so I had to cut multiple bodices out of it, and I ended up running out of it, so I had to go to the store. They didn't have it anymore, and I had to buy a different one. And I don't know if I'll ever get to wear this dress. Maybe if I get invited to a wedding, I'll be able to wear it, or a more fancy occasion, but those are not the most common for me. The odds are very low, but I love this dress. And this one I made for my mom. I used the same fabric that I used for the Ana Lucia dress. It has a subtle v-neck and a cut right on the bust. It has a tiered skirt, and the back of it, I made it with that fake shearing technique where you put elastic in between the outside layer and the lining. She really likes this one. She wears it quite often. Since you are watching this video, I am assuming that maybe you also sew clothes or you're interested in making clothes yourself. But if you do make clothes for yourself, if you do make clothes for your loved ones, isn't it the nicest feeling ever when you see someone that you love wearing something that you made? Like every time my mom wears it, I'm just... And there's another one that I missed because it's not here. It just reminded me of that same feeling, is this dress that I made for my friend Aimee. Her favorite movie of all time is La La Land, and I recreated the dress that Mia wears, like the yellow one with the flowers. I recreated that one for her birthday. She loved it so much and she has worn it so many times. Her reaction to it when I gave it to her was so cute. It always makes me like all fuzzy inside and happy because, I don't know, I made that. And here it is, my favorite make of the year, this dress. I had seen this style of dress for so long on the internet, on Pinterest, and I really wanted to make one for myself. So I finally made it, and it worked just fine. It looks exactly like I wanted it to look like. This one is more of an intermediate to advanced sewing projects. I wouldn't really recommend for complete beginners, but I do have a full tutorial on how to make the pattern and how to sew it from start to finish. I'm gonna link it in the description as well. And also, since you guys asked for it in the comments, I worked on a pattern, a PDF pattern. The pattern is currently being tested by a group of amazing subscribers that decided to help me out on it. So it's almost ready. Hopefully it will be released by the end of January, so stay tuned. I decided to name it the Juliana dress because I also made it for my cousin Juliana. I made it to measure for her using the same step-by-step that I used on YouTube to make mine. It was before I made the pattern on my computer, so it's not the same, but it's the same style that I made to fit her properly. And I'm going to ask her for a photo so I can put it in here so you guys can see what it looks like. There's also this two-piece set that honestly looks like a dress, but there's a corset top with an oval neckline with boning and grommet as well. There's a full tutorial on how to make the pattern and how to sew it. And to match, I also made it with a half circle skirt, and I decided to make it separately because I guess I would have more wear out of those if they were separate instead of being just one dress. I haven't really worn it out either way, so I don't know, guess I was wrong, but I can just wear it as a skirt separately with a different top, or I can wear it as a dress. I also made this skirt right here that is a free pattern. It's really not that difficult to make, and I'll link the tutorial and the pattern in the description if you guys want to check it out. Maybe if you're a complete beginner, I wouldn't start with this one because it does have an invisible side zipper and all of that, but it is doable. Now, those three tops right here, I made them because I wanted to use up my stash of fabric / leftovers. This top right here, I made it with leftover from the Aimee by Scott dress that I showed you. I love this top. I do plan on making more of those. I just haven't had the time yet, but it has a sheared back panel, so I can just put it on and take it off without needing zipper or anything like that. And I do also have a full tutorial on how to make this. The green one, I also used leftover fabric. It used to be a dress that I tried making, but it didn't turn out looking really good, so I took it apart and I cut those pieces. However, I didn't have enough for the lining and I cut the lining on a different fabric. My mistake, because it keeps peeking through and it really annoys me. The top is the same as this one that I made before, but instead of tying in the front, I made it with buttons. And the third one for that video was a blouse version of the Aimee by Scott dress, but this fabric right here was not a good choice. It's like a cotton crepe. It's just stretchy and transparent and a bit weird, and the neckline didn't turn out looking really good. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And the last video that I posted here was a tutorial on how to make this hoodie right here. I show you how to make the pattern and how to sew it from start to finish. I haven't actually used it yet because here in Brazil we're actually going through the beginning of summer, but I did make it. And if you guys want to see how to make it, I'm going to link it in the description as well. But it wasn't the last thing that I made this year, it was just the last video that I posted. I also made this tank top for my mom because she really liked this fabric that I had in my stash, and I decided to make this one for her. It's very easy and I did film the process, so I do plan on releasing this as a tutorial and also as a free pattern. I also made these 3 t-shirts for my dad, like a white one, a dark blue one, and a black one. T-shirts are very easy to make. I actually make them in a row, like one right after the other, using the same pattern. And the last thing that I actually sewed this year was this tiny bag right here. The tutorial was already supposed to be out. It was supposed to be the last video of the year. However, as I said, my sewing machine decided to stop working right before Christmas. A nice end of the year present, but I do absolutely love this bag. It's so cute. It's exactly how I wanted it to look like. And I have already cut other versions for me to make, but I haven't finished them yet because my machine stopped working. But expect this tutorial coming very soon. That's actually it. Yeah, that's actually it. I think I've been filming for like 2 hours non-stop. I haven't counted how many I made yet, but I'm gonna do that while I tidy my room because clothes are everywhere. And then I'm gonna come back with the total amount of pieces that I made this year. I guess I underestimated the amount of time that it would take for me to tidy all of the mess, because when I was finished, it was already way too dark and I couldn't film the outro anymore. But I really hope you guys liked today's video. It was really interesting to show everything to the camera the way that I did, because to be honest, I had forgotten I had made so many things last year. 2023 was definitely a crazy year, because if you had told me a couple of years ago that I would have started a YouTube channel, I wouldn't have believed you at all. So thank you guys for being here. Those of you who have subscribed, who have bought a pattern from a shop, or who have commented something nice, or sent me a photo of something that you made because of one of my tutorials, thank you. Knowing that I was a part of your sewing journey somehow really means a lot to me, and I just hope I can continue being part of it. I'm wishing you all a peaceful and happy 2024, and I hope to see you guys around this year as well. Bye!